where things kind of took a turn for the worst.
When you were 18?
Yes. Was my senior year in high school. So my dad committed suicide.
Oh, wow.
And the same week that he died, I found out I was pregnant.
Holy shit. Welcome to another episode of Ambitious. I didn't know you had a daughter.
Yes, I do. People are always thrown off. They're like, oh, okay, like, is she 2? Or I'm like, nope, she's 10. So,
Oh, wow. How old are you?
I'm 28. Yeah, I'm going to be 29 in April.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I had her
You're
when...
pretty young.
Yeah, I had her when I was 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 32 and I have no kids, and I am pretty happy about it.
You don't want kids?
I mean...
It's not in your future. Hey, it's not, it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. I'm not opposed to it, but I was married before. I had an ex-wife.
Okay.
I have an ex-wife.
I had an ex-wife.
And, yeah, she's still alive. And we were married for 8 years. We tried to have kids for a few years and just never did.
Okay.
And now I think about my life currently. I'm like, I'm stoked that I don't have any kids. That would be awful right now. Mm-hmm. So I'm open to it, but I'm kind of like, you know what? If it doesn't happen, I'm fine with that. And I try to just accept my life the way that it is. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, and you have a lot going on too, because you create so much content. So, when you have a kid involved, you have to work your schedule around that. Yeah. And since my daughter's older, I have a little bit more freedom and flexibility. And
True. What's it like having a 10-year-old? But that's nuts.
It is, yeah. She's great. Like, I always tell people she's going to be a wonderful adult. However, that's difficult to parent.
Does that mean she's a bad kid?
No. It's just she's super independent. She's very witty. Like, she can negotiate her way around a no just like impeccably well. It's, and then it's
she should be a lawyer too.
Some people say that.
I mean, you're a paralegal, but...
Right, I know. Yeah. But, I don't know. And then sometimes, like, you can't even argue with her logic, Like, sometimes the kid is right when they come back at you, and you're just... Then what do you do? It's like, well, you just pulled a parent card. Like, well, I said no. End of story.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how smart some kids can be.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually... I never thought of it that way. Thank you for that perspective.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell everybody who you are and give them a little introduction?
Oh, now the pressure's on.
Yeah. Oh, now it became official. I know. I always hate doing okay, now we're going
now. We're starting.
I like it to just kind of ease in. Sometimes I don't even do an introduction, but.
That's clever. That's actually smart because now I have all this anxiety. For no reason. It's fine. I'm Angeline Wolff. I'm a mother.
And a paralegal.
And you and I model and...
Yeah, you and I met through the Portrait Slam.
Yeah, yes.
I think it was at the
Salem one.
Yeah, the Gray Lab.
The Gray Lab Slam.
That place was cool.
It was really cool. I really love how they decorated everything, and it was fun meeting all those people. But yeah, that's how we met. And then Taylor.
Yeah, through Taylor. Because she was doing a photo shoot with Cody and Summer. And invited you, and then Summer does your hair, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
And then me and Summer actually, I think, met at Portrait Slam 2 years ago. So we've modeled together, and that's how I'm here also, because she was like, "Hey, he's doing this podcast, and you should, should link up." And
I know. I became friends with Cody and Summer through a photo shoot too. Taylor, she's the networking queen.
Yeah.
If I wasn't dating her, I would have no friends.
Yeah.
Like, she's been out of town for 4 days, and you're like the first person I've seen.
Like, what do I do with myself?
A slight exaggeration. But. Anyway, so I met Cody and Summer, and then Cody and I are really similar. Like, we have a lot of insecurities and anxiety.
Yeah, you bond on that level.
Yeah. So we got along really well, really quick, and then him and I did a podcast together. And then
I listened to it. Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, that was a fun one. And then we did one with Cody and Summer. And then she texted me. She was like, "Hey, you should do one with Angie." I was like, "I really don't know Angie that well." She's like, "She has a crazy life. It'd be great." I'm like, "Oh, I'm so curious." So I asked her, what kind of questions should I ask? And she gave me a few, but I actually forgot what they all are, so I literally don't know what we're going to talk about or what we're about to say.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just wing it.
Yeah, but you were talking about your like how you use poetry for dealing with trauma.
Yes, yeah. So I published a poetry book, and that all started because I started sharing my poems on social media. So, like on Instagram, Facebook. Initially, people reacted really badly, actually. Fun fact.
To your poetry?
Yeah. Yeah. I started sharing it probably, I don't know, 2 years ago, just little snippets. And I got really mean messages from people saying that, I have no reason to be sad because I'm pretty, or I had people telling me like I should go kill myself if I'm so sad. Like it was aggressive. People were aggressive about it. Yeah, and
That reminds me of that. Do you watch The Office?
I've seen some episodes. Yeah.
There's this episode where Kelly, she's talking about Jan, the boss, and she's like, "How can somebody that's so pretty be so sad?" Just made me think of that. Sorry, tangent.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So people were really aggressive. I mean, I've seen your writing on your Instagram, your poetry. It's good. It feels like it has a lot of emotional depth, which I love that. I can't really see why people would be angry.
I think honestly, I mean, people are uncomfortable with other people's sadness. I think that's what it is. And then, and before I started sharing my poetry, I mean, now my feed is kind of, it's who I am almost. Like in my captions with my photos, I have poetry or I have some kind of message that I'm trying to push, right? Before I just posted photos, like really pretty, like my modeling photos. That was it. A lot of people thought I was fake. Some people thought I was a bot. Like, so I think it just threw people for a loop. They're like, well, your life is perfect on social media. And then
everybody's life is perfect on social media.
Right, yeah. It's
what the hell are these people talking about?
Exactly. And so, but really, I mean, I responded to all of them and I was like, well, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I write for me. So, I mean, you don't have to read it. Yeah. I was super calm about it. Just, I'm sorry that you don't need to attack me, but you don't have to read it. No one's forcing you to read it.
Right.
And then, a few months of continuously sharing it, then the tone changed. Then people were like, oh, thank you for being vulnerable. I feel this way too. And then everything changed and started going up from there. So,
nice.
And then I had a lot of people be like, you should write a book. Like, you should put all of this in a book. And I was like, I don't know. I mean...
It's kind of intimidating.
It is, yeah.
The process is kind of crazy.
Well, I didn't think people actually really read it, honestly. Like, I didn't think... I write for me, and it's just how I process and cope with my emotions. And, but I mean...
It was relatable for a lot of other people.
Yeah, and then the more I heard that, I was like, okay, I guess I'll give her a go.
So it's published now?
It is published, yeah.
What's it called?
Catalyst.
Love it.
Yes.
What's it a catalyst for? Being vulnerable.
Well, I mean, it's like the poems were prompted by certain events in my life or people or whatever. So those people or those events were catalysts in my life that took me to the next level or helped me grow or that kind of thing.
That's cool.
That's why my friend Megan, actually, she was the one. We were thinking of names for the books. I told her, I'm like, I'm going to do this, but I don't know what to call it. And so we were kind of brainstorming on names. And then so she's actually really the one who came up with it, honestly. Because I was like, I was venting. I was like, I hate that so many poems are based off of, one event or one person. And I was like, and it just sucks. Like, because I don't want it to be about them. It's not about them.
Yeah.
It's about me.
Right.
And she was like, well, I mean, it's not about them. Like, they were the catalyst. They were the event in your life that, helped you grow through this. Like, you needed that to happen.
It's a good title.
Exactly. And then I was like, wait, catalyst. Wait, that word you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always fascinated by people who, like, how people come up with their titles for anything, like an album or a book, because I'm super indecisive. So coming up with something that's that permanent, like I don't have any tattoos because I just can't decide.
Yeah.
And I don't have any published books. I go back and forth on the title of this podcast.
Really?
Yeah, like I've changed it probably 3 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was it before?
So it started as Ambitious, but it had 2 M's, play off my name. And then it changed to Cluff Chronicles,
Oh, okay.
my last name.
Yeah.
And it was with my brother. So I brought him on as a co-host and we were doing it together. But then that kind of faded away. So I brought it back to Ambitious. But then I shortened it to just one M to make it more searchable, like for SEO.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
So
My handle it's always been Love Miss Wolf, but before it was actually like LUV underscore
Oh,
Miss
yeah.
Wolf.
Oh yeah, I think I knew that actually.
Yeah, like when I first started. And I mean my email that's listed like on my page it's still LUV underscore Miss Wolf. Because I was like, well, I'm not gonna change it now. But then everyone was like, it's really hard to find you because you say love and then everyone
Oh yeah.
you're
Changing an email is hard though.
yeah, so the email I was like, I'll just leave it alone. It's fine. We'll just leave that.
Or just start a new one. It's probably taken.
Maybe I don't know. That's actually.
Well, I never even I didn't know your name was Angie till the second time I met you.
Oh really?
At that shoot in the next to the football field.
Yeah.
Because your name's not on your Instagram. I don't know if you have another like private Instagram.
No, it's just Miss Wolf.
Yeah, so I'm like I guess I'll just call you Love Miss Wolf.
Right. People actually, a lot of people will message me correcting me, being like they either think I just love wolves, which wolves are cool, or they'll be like, hey, just heads up, you spelled wolf wrong.
Oh, how's it spelled in your?
With 2 F's, WOLFF.
Oh, okay. That's how your last name's spelled? Oh, gotcha. I didn't even notice.
Oh, yeah. But then wolf is like WOLF. And
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but it's my last name.
It's actually a name, bro. Leave me alone. God, there's so many haters out there.
I know.
People find reason to hate for any reason.
Yes.
I think it takes a lot more work to be nice than it does to be mad. Like, your first instinct is just to be mad about stuff. This girl's so pretty, but she's so sad. I'm going to be mad about that.
The audacity.
Her last name's spelled wrong. I think I'm going to tell her. I don't think she knows.
I know.
Well, if she's a bot, she probably wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
God. Do you read your comments a lot on your Instagram?
I do, but I don't really have, I haven't had hateful comments recently. In a while, actually. So,
yeah. I feel like after, like the haters are kind of always in the beginning. Like you're weeding out the shitty people who are just going to fall off anyway. Mm-hmm. And then you find your real people. Mm-hmm. And then once you start like gaining success, the haters come back.
Exactly.
And you start getting
it's just it's an up and down.
Yeah.
But that's how you know you're head down
successful. It's when the haters are around.
Exactly.
They're jealous.
Right? Yes. They have time to do that too.
Yeah. So how much of your trauma do you want to go into? Like, how vulnerable do you want to be? It feels like you're a vulnerable person.
I am. I'm an open book. I tell people that. Honestly, a lot of people, when they talk to me, they're surprised by how much information that they share about themselves with me.
I have the same problem.
Yeah.
I consider it a problem.
Yeah, really?
I do.
I think it's a good thing.
Well, I guess it depends how you look at it. I've had it blow up in my face.
Oh.
Where people will get attached to me.
Oh.
And I'm like, hold on a sec. Like
we're bonding,
sorry
but it's not like that.
Yeah, sorry if you got the wrong idea.
Yeah.
I have this effect on people where they can just feel comfortable and feel open.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I mean, I do like it. But I got to just be careful with it. Make boundaries. I didn't used to be very good at that.
Oh, that's fair. That makes sense.
Getting better.
Okay, getting better. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, people say that, and I think it's because I'm so open initially. Like if you ask me any question, like I'll answer it. Like I've gotten to a point where I'm comfortable in my sadness. I'm comfortable talking about it, and I think mental health is so important. And so
mm-hmm. I find talking about my sadness very cathartic. It feels very like healing just to talk about it.
Yeah.
Are you a Pisces?
I'm a Taurus Aries. I'm like on the cusp. So
wow.
my birthday is 4/20. So I don't know.
Aries.
Some people are like, you're a Taurus, and others are like, you're an Aries.
Oh, that's what Taylor is.
An Aries or a Taurus?
She's on the cusp.
Oh, is she 420 too, or is she?
Yeah, 420.
Oh my gosh.
Hitler's birthday.
Woo.
Yeah, 420. That's crazy. You seem a lot different than her, but zodiac signs are kind of, I don't know. I think about it, but I don't really like.
It's just like some base level stuff.
It's like a spoke in the wheel of what makes up a person, you know? Like it's just one spoke that maybe has something to do with their personality.
Mm-hmm. I really think it's just about how you grow up, like how you're raised or your
Yeah,
environment.
product of your environment.
That really shapes your personality.
Yeah, for sure.
I think initially you have, main traits, but then, I don't know, as you get older, you grow and you...
Was your upbringing pretty good? Like, would you say it was?
It was, yeah. It's funny actually because I'll hang out with my friends. My friends will start talking about their childhoods and stuff, and a lot of my friends haven't had great childhoods, and I just don't ever talk about mine because I almost feel bad. Like my childhood was picture perfect. Like it was white picket fence, picture perfect. Like I shit you not. Can I cuss on this?
Of course,
okay.
yeah, it's fine. You listen to the podcast, right? You swear all the time.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I just
yeah, you're fine.
No, I grew up in Nebraska. Fun fact.
Random.
Yeah, I know. I was born in California actually, but then from like 3 to 18, I grew up in Nebraska, a little small town. Like there was 12 of us in my graduating class.
Holy shit! I thought my high school was small. I went to school on the coast in Coquille, and my graduating class was 80. Oh. But that's like way bigger than yours.
Yeah, it was small, but I had great parents, and we traveled a lot. We spent summers in Canada and road trips, all that jazz.
Why Canada?
We had a cottage in Grand Bend, Ontario. So we would go, kind of like family reunion stuff. Like we'd all head there for the summer, and
yeah,
so
that's awesome.
I had a good childhood, where things kind of took a turn for the worst.
When you were 18?
Yes, was my senior year in high school. So my dad committed suicide.
Oh wow!
And the same week that he died, I found out I was pregnant.
Holy shit!
Yes.
Dang, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. So a lot to process, but looking back, I'm thankful that I got pregnant when I did. I mean, I honestly, like, I didn't want kids. I didn't see myself being like a great mom. I don't know. I just didn't have that mindset, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, you're still so young.
Also that. But, I mean, I don't know. I feel like some women, even like as teens, like they have this vision, right? Like they envision a wedding. They want 2 or 3 kids, girl first, boy, that have names picked out.
Yeah, that's actually really true. I have 2 sisters younger, and they, no doubt in their minds, they always wanted kids.
Yeah.
I mean, but I grew up very Mormon, and so it's like very family oriented and
right, lots of kids.
That kind of just mindset, like gender norms and traditional kind of things. So, and they both got married right out of high school and each have 3 kids now.
Oh, yep. See,
so
yeah, and that just wasn't in the cards for me. I don't know, like that's not what I thought of, right? And so, but looking back, I think it's good that I was pregnant because I don't know that I would have made it. And I say that because, so my dad was my first death. Like he was my first experience. Like I didn't have grandparents go, that kind of thing.
Dang, what a hard one for the first.
The first, yeah. Usually you lose a grandparent first or something, right?
Yeah, or somebody who died or a friend's relative or something.
Yeah. And so first experience with death, and
Jesus.
That's when I figured out.
Like a pet?
Well, I lost a dog.
Oh, okay.
So there's that, but like first like human.
Yeah.
Like it kind of hits hard, right? Yeah. So it was my first experience really with depression. Like I was sad over a breakup or fighting with my friends. Like sad, but I didn't experience that level.
Yeah, that's deeper.
Sadness.
Were you and your dad pretty close?
Yeah, he was like my best friend. So and there's a lot of guilt with that. I won't go into that part of it, but we weren't really talking the year before he died. Like we kind of fell off. We had a bump in the road with our relationship. And so and it was more so me, like I was just angry at him. He was trying to salvage the relationship, but I was just mad at him for something he did. And so there's guilt there. So I'm like, oh shit, like
right. You guys never had like a kind of come together?
No. Actually, the last time that I saw him was for my senior photos. We were starting to try to salvage the relationship. Like I was starting to forgive him.
Yeah.
And he has a Porsche, and so he brought the Porsche and a bouquet of white roses to take pictures with. And I'm thankful because the photographer was like, "Oh, well, he looks nice. He brought the car. He has a bouquet. Let's just take a quick picture with you two really quick." Just out of the blue, the photographer said this.
Nice.
And so that was the last time I saw him, and that was our last photo together.
At least you did it. At least you said yes to the photo.
Yeah, I know. I'm so thankful for that.
God, what a sad story. Fuck. It makes me, I think that thinking about death is actually really healthy because it makes you, I'll speak for myself. It makes me put little like fights into perspective. Like, I don't know how much of the podcast or my life or that you've listened to. I was Mormon my whole life. And if you know anything about Mormons, they're like a really tight-knit family group. Mm-hmm. And then 3 years ago, I decided I wasn't going to be Mormon anymore after my divorce. Mm-hmm. And I moved back home, was living with my parents at the time. I was 30. And I was like, hey, like, I'm kind of just starting over with my life. I'm going to take a break from church, and I'm just, going to kind of do my own thing. And it was super hard for them. Mm-hmm. And to kind of make the story shorter, my parents had a really hard time with it, especially my dad. And it was like, had a really intense potential to create a wedge between us.
Oh, okay.
But I would just not like think about death, but if you just can have that perspective adjustment, it helps you to be like, you know what, like this is probably hard for him and it's hard for me. And you just have to kind of keep trying and keep going. And it makes you, I don't know, just think about the things you say to the people that you love on a daily basis.
Yeah, it definitely puts it in perspective.
But yeah, it's a hard lesson to learn, especially the way you learned it.
Yeah. I didn't think that was an option, right? Like none of us even knew he was sad. Yeah. So we were just, it throws you for a loop for sure.
So it was super unexpected and just like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, none of us saw that coming. Like there was no struggling with depression or. He just seemed happy, but sometimes it's the happiest people who end up going that way because they
so good
hold
at hiding it.
Yeah, they hold it in or all that stuff. But so I'm glad that I got pregnant. Back to that part, I feel like I kind of went off on a tangent.
No, yeah, so did I. It's fine.
Because I had something to focus on, right? Like I was like, okay, well, it's not about me anymore. There's this life growing, and so. What do I do about that? So it helped me kind of switch focus from, oh my God, this just happened to.
It's like a nice distraction.
Yeah. Like they're both major events, right?
Yeah. I would say so.
Not unexpected, not prepared for either of them, but.
End of life and the beginning
now
of
what
life.
do I do? Exactly. So.
So you would say that your daughter kind of saved your life?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So.
Pretty amazing.
It is.
It's weird how sometimes things just sort of happen at the right time. Mm-hmm. But. Yeah, that's really cool.
I'm like a strong believer that everything happens for a reason. I feel like that's so cliche. Yeah. Like people say that all the time, but I really I feel it. It's like I mean it. Like
I can see why you think that or why you believe that really strongly.
Yeah, there's just been so many things that have happened in my life that at the time I'm like, well, that sucks. But then looking back, I'm like, okay, well, this prompted this or this prompted that, or if this didn't happen, then I wouldn't,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
All that jazz.
So it's been 10 years. Since your dad passed.
Yep.
And is that event and that the emotions wrapped up in that, is that kind of the source of a lot of your writing and poetry?
Yes. I don't necessarily write about like my dad. I do have some poems in there, and then there's like some sneaky ones that people don't realize that that's the source of it unless I tell them. But really, so what happened with so I don't write about my dad, but the trauma behind it. So I have abandonment issues for sure now. I was in denial for a while. Like people were like, I'm pretty sure you have abandonment issues. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm fine.
Yeah, good.
It's what? No. But it really comes to life in my relationships, my intimate relationships, where I'm like, oh, okay, this is triggering me. Or
are you married?
No, I'm not. No, I'm single. Yeah.
So that plays into a lot of your relationships. You feel like you have Fear of abandonment.
Yes. Yeah. It's almost like I notice like I search for people who are emotionally unavailable. And I almost wonder if I do that because I think deep down I'm emotionally unavailable. Like I think I just have a lot of growth and healing to do still. But that's why I write. And instead of keeping it all bottled up, it's a good way to kind of process what I'm going through. I feel bad sometimes. It's been brought to my attention. Certain people know that I'm writing about them, or like they know like they're the source of the poem.
This poem's about me, and now it's in a published book. God damn it.
Yes, yeah. I have a friend, like he won't even read the book. Like I keep telling him, like you should. Like, what if I give it to you? And he's like, no. And I was like, why? He's like, I'm pretty sure some of those are about me, and I don't want to do it. He's like, but congratulations, like, you know.
Who is he? Is like he an ex or something?
No, he's just a good friend, but we have a long history of it's a long story.
Yeah,
there's
it's
ups
fine.
and downs, but we're really good friends now, but it's just funny because he's like, no.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Sometimes people are just not ready, you know?
Yeah, and so that's kind of put a little. I'm trying to write differently now. Also, I'm trying to change my style of writing. I want to write more happy things or write from a place of joy, because I thrive in my sadness, and it's actually not a great thing. Like, it's not super healthy to do that. I mean, I tell people, you know, it's okay to be sad, which it is, and I don't think you should, you know, hide it, but you can't stay there for so long.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that what I end up doing ultimately is like self-sabotaging myself.
How so?
I'll be happy or excited about something, and then all of a sudden I'll like flip it and I'll think of all of the negative things, or I'll start digging, or like I just,
Oh, yeah,
you know, like I just, it's like it's too good to be true.
like you
I'm
wanna
waiting
be
for the
so.
other shoe to drop.
Oh, gotcha.
And
I do
so-
that sometimes.
Yeah, and then so I'm just kind of waiting for, it's almost like this build up, and then I crash.
Yeah.
But then when I crash, I'm almost happy again because I start
'Cause
writing
that's where
and
you're-
creating all of this content, and then I get the
yeah.
validation from, you know, external sources, and it's really not a good cycle to be stuck in.
Well, it's probably familiar. Your sadness is just like familiar.
It is. Yeah.
I feel the same way, and I'm gonna make an assumption about you, if that's okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
You probably don't want to be blindsided again by a sad event. So when you're feeling happy, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm just like thinking off the top of my head.
No, this is good
Like if
so
you're
far.
feeling really happy or things are going really right, you're like, well, fuck, something is probably what's about to happen? Like there's something right around the corner I know is gonna happen that's bad, and it's gonna catch me off guard. So I
Yeah.
might as well just get myself sad on my own, like intentionally, while I have control of it, so that I don't.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
then the fall isn't as hard. Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's kind of what I do. So maybe there's similarities.
right.
But yeah, I do that all the time. I got to a point after my divorce when I was in a relationship with Taylor. We've been together for like 2.5 years. And it got to a point naturally where you kind of cross like this, I don't know what to call it, like a checkpoint or a breaking point where you're like, okay, if I go any farther, I'm going to start falling in love with this person. And if it doesn't work, or she leaves me, which she's probably already thinking about leaving me anyway, like that's what my brain does.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
going to fucking suck. And I'm going to
Yeah.
go through this again. So I should protect myself and just like create some space between my heart and this relationship. So I went to therapy and did life coaching and talked to my, just smarter people than me. And they're like, do you always want to live that way? Do you always want to be alone? Do you always want to live with this event that happened to you that's going to have control over your future you? Are you going to let this thing affect your relationships? And I was like, well, fuck that. Like, no. So I just kind of fucking dove in, and then it's been 2.5 years, and it's great. Like, I'm happier than I've ever been.
Yeah.
But I'm also terrified a lot of the time.
Yeah. That's what love is. I mean, it's something that you choose and you work for. And, it's like you have to experience, or you have to appreciate the what is it? How do you say it? Like, you have to appreciate the good in order to, or appreciate the sad in order to appreciate
Yeah,
the
yeah,
good.
like
That
the
whole,
the light and dark, the balance, the polarity.
Exactly, the balance. Yeah.
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 Exactly. Like, I wouldn't be able to appreciate how good my relationship is if I didn't have a relationship fail.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
I mean, with you, you can, I mean, appreciate the people in your life that you love that are around and alive because you've experienced such a intense loss. God, that's so fucking crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I've been really processing it more lately, actually, like really recently.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. I was curious, like how you processed it then.
Oh, versus now?
Yeah, just the timeline of it, how you've coped.
How I've coped,
Like what it's looked like.
For in the beginning, I really couldn't talk about it at all. It was I kind of just ignoring the whole thing, right? Because when I thought about it, I would break down. It was just sad. Like, I couldn't talk about my dad. I couldn't bring up memories.
Yeah.
None of that. And then little by little, I started trying to remember the good moments and would write about it and that kind of thing. But recently, so my grandpa just passed away in November. And that whole experience was actually kind of traumatizing. And more so, I think, because it brought me back to my dad's death just because of certain things. And I'm not like an angry person, right? Like I'm really not. Like, it's something I don't experience a whole lot. I don't get mad. I just don't experience that emotion a whole lot. And recently I've been really mad. Like, I've been so angry just at everything.
Good. It's probably good.
It probably is.
Probably need to.
Yeah, I was talking to my friends and they're like, I think you've suppressed all of this anger for so long.
Yeah, you're like, finally, fuck you, death. I'm mad. I'm mad that you took my dad and my grandpa.
Yeah. And finally, like, it just kind of is like unleashed itself. But
yeah,
also it's made me, it's kind of opened the door back to my dad and memories. And so now I'm trying to kind of come at this differently. I mean, I'm remembering things that we used to do together. Like, we used to ski and we used to go golfing. I haven't skied.
You can ski in Nebraska? Oh, wait, Canada.
Well, probably in Canada, but
there is skiing in Nebraska?
No, I don't think so. But where we lived in the Panhandle, so we were like 15, 30 minutes to Colorado and Wyoming.
The Panhandle of what?
Oh, Panhandle of Nebraska. So if you look at Nebraska,
I thought it was a square.
It looks like a pan.
Oh, I thought that was Oklahoma.
Well, kind of, actually.
My geography's terrible. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
So Nebraska, it's on the Panhandle is next to Colorado.
Yes, and Wyoming.
Cool.
So it's like 30 minutes to Colorado. I think like an hour to Wyoming. So we skied all over Colorado.
Nice.
Together. And recently I started golfing again but I wouldn't do those things because it reminded me of my dad, right? So.
How long did you avoid them for?
Like 10 years. Like I did
so
not.
This year is like the time that you're like finally starting to come around.
Yeah, like this summer I started golfing, and this winter I'm going to go skiing. Like, it's a goal. Like, I'm going to go do it.
Just going to be sobbing the whole time.
I don't think so.
You'll have goggles. You'll be fine. Nobody can see it.
No one will know. No one will know.
What was if I can ask, what was the catalyst, if I can use that word, for like you, like 10 years? Why 10 years? What switched this year that made you, honestly, want to face the emotions?
I don't know. I think I've just done a lot of growing. Like, ever since I published the book last summer. Yeah, it's been a year already. That's crazy.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Is it narrated like on Audible?
No. Some people said I should do that, but I don't know.
I mean, it might be weird to listen to poems, but it would be cool to hear them in your voice, because poetry, I feel like, there's like a cadence to it, and sometimes rhyming, and just a lot of emotion. So it'd be really cool to hear it from your voice.
Like my take on it.
Yeah, because it's so incredibly vulnerable to you. Mm-hmm. It'd be pretty cool.
That's true, maybe.
Plus, I hate reading books. I like to listen to them.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people are. They're like, do you have
an audiobook, please?
Audiobook, play it in the car as I'm driving, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's sad, though. I don't think people are going to
just, dude, sometimes the car is the best place to break down.
Yeah, that's true.
Just tint your windows and have a sob fest.
No one will know. Nobody's gonna know. How would they know?
Wait, so you're not really sure? You're not really sure what was the?
There was no like particular event. No, I don't know. I've been trying to do a lot of self growth, and so I listen to like motivational things, and Jordan Peterson is actually like.
You like Jordan Peterson?
I love Jordan Peterson. Yes.
I don't think I've ever met a woman that likes him.
Really?
No.
Oh God, I listen to him all the time. I read his book.
Wow.
So good.
I mean, I just kind of recently discovered him through the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yes.
So I'm a dude and obviously a fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I discovered Jordan Peterson and I was like, oh, this guy's like, it feels like he just talks to men usually. Like his audience is mostly men.
Yeah. But also, I mean, what he says, women, anyone can really like learn from it.
True.
He has this thing where he says that, you should be a monster.
I've heard that line. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But just learn how to control it. I mean,
he said that on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. And
do you listen to Joe Rogan too?
No, I've seen clips of his podcast.
Yeah.
Because he interviews other people.
Rowdy.
Yeah, he interviews other people and stuff too. But I don't actually I don't think I follow him. But but no, anyone can really learn and grow from that too. I mean, I think women, we're meant to be small. Like people see us as we're weak and we're
right.
We don't, and that's kind of how I am. I feel how I've been, and I don't want to be that way anymore. I mean, I let people walk all over me, and
you're gonna be a controlled monster.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unleash the beast.
Level up, right?
Go skiing.
Go skiing. Yes.
Play some
But
golf.
I mean, I avoid conflict. I don't do confrontation very well. I'm good with my words, and so I can de-escalate a situation if I need to, which is usually what I do. Or I just kind of like, I shrivel up. Like if I'm upset about something and I voice my opinion to whoever it is, but then they come back at me, then I'm like, I feel like I'm the one always keeping the peace, right? I mean, I'll be like, okay, well, I understand how like what I did prompted your reaction, yada, yada. And then I'll just kind of, submit, defeat,
what makes
even
you
though
like shy away from confrontation?
I don't know.
You're just a peacemaker.
I don't know. I just don't like it. Like I've never been in a fight, like a physical fight. Mostly because I just know I would lose, so like why put yourself into that situation?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I might be able to get ghetto if I get like mad enough. Right. But I don't, maybe one good hit, but I'm not fast. So it's not like I could run away.
Well, if you're good with your words, I mean, that's probably what you use as your weapon, if you will.
Yeah, but I don't like, but also no, because
you just use it to de-escalate.
Yeah.
Right.
And I use it to connect with people in a sense. So like if we are mad and we're fighting, then I'm good at telling you why what you did hurt me.
So you're really good at articulating your emotions?
Yes.
God, I'm terrible at that.
Really?
Yeah. I'm really bad.
Oh.
I'm very inarticulate.
Oh.
I feel like my words are not my strength.
No. What do you do? Do you like? Are you avoidant? Do you just disappear?
Yes. Yeah. When emotions are high, I leave just to like calm down and gather my thoughts. I'm not afraid of confrontation. It's just when I'm in it, I just have a hard time. Like I always leave. I'm like, God, I should have said that. Like that would have been so much better.
Yeah.
I just can't really think of anything on the spot. I don't really know what happens. I just kind of shut down. So I'm okay with confrontation in calm situations. So like a calm conflict. And I don't mind it at all.
Right.
I enjoy intellectual conversations.
Yeah.
Like this podcast.
Yeah.
I love talking about my emotions, sometimes to a fault. Like that's just all I would do if I had the option.
Yeah.
I just like live in my emotions like a Pisces. So typical. So I'm trying to like create balance for my logical mind and give my brain some space to do its job too. But when emotions get high and it gets heated and there's like yelling, then I'll just leave. I won't stay in a heated conflict.
That's fair. I don't think I've really been in a lot of like yelling conflicts.
I haven't either.
Like I've had people yell at me, but then But then I just kind of, I do the whole submit thing. I'll be like, okay. But then I'll, like after they're done yelling, I'll be like, so, but like, I understand that you're mad, and like, I'm sorry that I've escalated it to this point. It's like, I understand, like, I didn't realize you were going to get so upset talking about this or whatever it is. Or, but, and they'll kind of try to get back to what do we do to resolve it? I'm like a fixer. Like, I want to fix things. And not everyone wants to fix things. Not everyone wants to.
Yeah, I'm kind of the opposite.
That's kind of the problem. Exactly.
I'm like, nah, I don't want a solution right now. I just want to talk about my feelings and say how mad I am.
Yeah.
And Taylor's like, she's like you.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, let's fix this. Like if I have a problem, like I can't decide if I want to buy this thing, or I can't, just whatever, like any kind of a problem.
Yeah.
Because I'm so indecisive. She'll just like, solution mode. Let's fix it. Let's find a solution. I'm like, no, I just want you to listen to me.
Yeah.
I just want you to like give me a hug and just let me express myself.
Just love me. Just let me love you.
But I mean, there's a middle ground for sure. Like come together to, because I would not want to date somebody who's exactly like me.
Yeah.
Because we would never get anything done.
That's fair.
So it's nice to have somebody who's opposite, where I can learn something from her. Mm-hmm. Anyway, sorry, tangent.
Oh no, you're fine. Tangents are good.
Yeah. So tell me about like, what was the process for your book? Did you have to like, because I've thought about doing books.
I put it together pretty quickly, but only because I already had so much content. I already wrote so much. So then it was a matter of filtering out like what works, what doesn't, like what makes sense. And then,
did you have to get an editor and all that?
No, I did it all myself.
Wow.
I sent it off to a printing company in Southern California. I can't remember the name of it, but so they printed the book, because you can do like printing through Amazon, like KDP.
Oh yeah.
And I tried that, but then I got a copy of the book, and I didn't like it. It just looked small and not nice.
Gotcha.
Like
yeah.
Just the quality wasn't what I wanted it to be. So naturally, then I went elsewhere and I did that. But I mean, my poems are about mental health. They're about feelings and that kind of thing. So actually, like, my chapters are the 5 stages of grief, which I thought was pretty clever.
That is clever.
So, and then I just put the poems in each chapter. Like, when I was going through this, I wrote these, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Have you had a lot of sales?
I have, yeah. And
nice.
I was really surprised. Like, I didn't think it was going to do super great, or like, just like close friends and family maybe. But a lot of people bought the book. And then
where can you buy it at? Like just Amazon?
I have a website.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in my Instagram, and then there's a link tree. Go to my website.
Gotcha.
Yeah. That
That's
way
really
it's just
cool.
that way I get the profit versus going through. I can do it like on Amazon.
Yeah.
As I go away from the mic.
It's okay.
or like Etsy or something. But yeah, and then it was really cool. I get a lot of messages from people just saying thank you, and
how much it's helped them.
Yeah, and it's so cool, because I mean, that wasn't. Like I said before, I mean, I write for myself. It was just because I needed to do it for me to get through whatever I was going through. Mm-hmm. And then now having the mindset of like, well, if it can help someone else along the way, then that's just kind of the cherry on top. It's just a little bonus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's really cool. That's, God, I think it's so important to do something like that you're good at. That's like an outlet for you. Mm-hmm. It's about you. That's vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And then to share it. Mm-hmm. I think it's very courageous to do that kind of thing. This podcast, I talk about a lot of really vulnerable things, like my divorce, my failed relationships, my struggle with religion, like therapy, all kinds of stuff. And then I bring people on who like struggle with suicide, and I don't know, just all kinds of stuff, whatever they want.
Yeah.
And then just to share it out there, like talk about it openly. I don't know. I get a lot of people, like same as you, people will respond to me or to my guest and they'll say like, thank you for sharing your experience. And it's very personable. People can just like be listening to it while driving. So it's very accessible.
Yeah.
And it's like just a few hours. You can listen to it in a couple chunks, and it normalizes like just reality. I feel like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, like all those places, you're only getting a few characters and a few like the people, your haters, they see just like a tiny fraction of your life. They make a judgment about you and think that your life is perfect. So why is she talking about such sad things? And they get mad, but they don't know your whole story. But with a book or with a podcast, something that's long form, they can hear your entire opinion all the way through. They can see your story and how you got to an opinion or how you got to a perspective or why you're so sad. It humanizes you. Yeah. And it's relatable. Everybody's going through something crazy. Like death is a common thing. Lots of people experience death. Yeah. And then the reason I say it's courageous and really, I think, cool is because it probably helps you. I mean, it helps me with this podcast to talk about divorce because a lot of people get divorced. Yeah. And it makes me feel less alone. A lot of people reach out, or especially the church thing. Whenever I talk about church, a lot of my audience is like ex-Mormon apparently, or still Mormon. Yeah. And they just have a lot of similar feelings and experiences that I do. So we share a lot of like anger or a lot of frustrations. But have you experienced things like that? Like feelings of not being alone with people talking to you about your book?
Yes. So I guess, I mean, I personally wasn't, well, yeah, okay. I guess it's funny. I have to like to talk about it. I almost have to go back into that mindset because at first I was like, well, I never really felt like alone. Like I know that everyone feels this way, right? But there would be certain things specifically for sure where I was like, fuck, like no one else gets upset like this, like I do, or yada yada.
I mean, it's one thing to like know that people get divorced or people die, but I don't know. There's some. Even for me, like I when I got divorced, I just felt super alone. Yeah. Because nobody in my circle had been divorced, at least not that many. Right. I don't know. So I'm not saying that like, did you just not know that people die and you felt like you were the only person that experienced it? I just mean like, was it helpful to?
It felt good to have people acknowledge what I was doing. I mean, when people tell me that my writing was good or they like thank you for. Like, I feel this way, too. It does. It helps me. I don't know.
It just builds a community.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
It's okay. Yeah, for me, it just helped me to feel like, yeah, I don't know. There's other people out there that just struggle with it, too. Yeah. Like, just to have people that know your story, like, it feels good to be known and seen by people. Yeah. And maybe that's what I mean, because my life is very public.
Everyone's sad, right? Like everyone gets sad, and it's just you can't lose hope. And so it felt good when people would reach out because it kind of gave me hope to keep going, to keep doing this, to keep writing, to like what I'm doing.
I like your answer better than mine. I was feeling like I just want people to be sad with me.
Oh,
no. I just don't want to be alone in my sadness. Come cry with me. Right.
No.
So it gave you hope.
It gave me hope. Yeah. And
that's good.
I think like what I'm trying to do, I don't know if it's what I'm trying to do, but when people read my stuff, like I want it to be like a roadmap, right? Like, okay, well, I was sad and I had a moment in my life where I wanted to die. And, I've gone through so many different things but guess what? Like I'm still successful. I still can be happy. I can have, I'm a good mother. I have a good job. I model, I do all of these things, so I'm trying to show both worlds. And that's why like with social media, I mean, initially everyone's like, oh, well, she's perfect, or, sure, your life is great. And it's like, well, no, it's not, but it's, what do you do about it? These are the cards that you've been dealt. Mm-hmm. So you can either kind of wallow and be sad forever, or you can, kind of feel that and experience it and then grow from it. Like the thing that I'm trying to show people is that it gets better. Like you have to move on. You have to grow. You have to heal. And healing is such a scary thing to do. It really is. Like if you think about it, because I feel like in order to heal, you really have to sit with whatever it is you're dealing with, or you have to go back, which is almost worse because, like with my dad, like I shoveled it down for so long, and now it's kind of like ripping off the Band-Aid. Like I have to kind of dive back in. Like that sucks. Like I'm mad at you that you did that. Like that was selfish. And I'm
You gotta
emotional.
You gotta dude, bring it on.
Here it is. I'm awkward. I sometimes when I'm like sad and stuff, I'll make weird noises.
There's a blanket right there. You can grab it and snuggle it.
Just cuddle it. It's fine.
I can go get a cat for you.
I'm actually like severely allergic to cats and dogs, but that's a different story for later. I'm fine. Like
good. I'm glad I put them away.
No, they're fine. I have cats. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
But you're allergic.
I know.
Hold on, we're deviating. I don't want you to get away from it. I don't want you to
see what I did there. I went straight off. But back to healing.
Yeah.
But see, exactly, we avoid it because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
we don't want to feel that. We don't want to talk about it. But life, like I feel your cycle won't change in the way that you want it to. You're just going to be back in that self-destructive cycle if you don't heal, if you don't address what it is. If it's a relationship, like if you can't let go of a person, why? What about that person can you not let go of? And a lot of the times it's not even the person, it's more of ourselves. Like we think we don't deserve better. We think we can't get anyone better.
Good point.
With my abandonment issues, it's like, well, I didn't think I had abandonment issues, but it's like I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop versus being present, versus being in the moments. Like right now is all that matters. Like if you're with somebody, or if you're alone, and it's so nice outside today. Like it's beautiful. If you're on a drive, that is what you're doing right now in this moment. You're driving and you're happy. Just feel that, be that, We worry and we get so wrapped up in what's going on around us, or what's going on in our world, like what tomorrow brings, what damage yesterday caused. And it's just, I don't know. But so
it's constantly taking you out of the present moment.
Exactly. And but healing is scary because you just have to just processing it, just going back to that dark place.
You have to think about it, feel the emotions.
Yeah, and it's scary. And if you worked so hard to get out of it, you don't want to go back into it.
Right.
But sometimes you have to go back into it.
Right, because burying it takes work.
Yes.
Stuffing it down, covering it up with your sweeping it under the rug. It takes a lot of work too. And then to have to dig it all back up.
Yeah.
And
then
it's hard.
You worry, like, am I strong enough? Like, am I gonna be back in this dark place for so long, or just as long as last time, because I'm bringing myself back here?
Like, I almost killed myself then. Like, what's to say that I'm going to survive this time?
Exactly.
Because it's going to come out the same way that it went in. It's going to feel the same.
Yes. But it's a matter of trusting yourself and being able to recognize the signs. I mean, and what you can do to get yourself out of that place. It's almost like testing yourself, right?
Yeah, like having some kind of a healthy distraction or a healthy coping mechanism to
which is why I write. Like there
you go.
It's how I cope with everything.
And now you're gonna go golfing,
right?
And skiing, just to process more of it.
Yes.
I think there was a something that I learned that was kind of a game changer for me in this whole topic, because I was always thinking about the future, constantly. Like, is my partner going to want to be with me forever? Are my parents going to be alive forever? When you're a kid, you think that way. And then as an adult, it just kind of carried over. And it was the thought, like kind of the light bulb that went off was, no amount of worrying that you do about the future is going to change. Like, if the other shoe is going to drop, it's going to drop. There's nothing that you can do. I mean, maybe there's some things you can do if the scenario allows. Maybe there's some control, but most of the time you don't have any control over the future and other people's behavior and like death. You just don't. And so the only thing that the thing that provided me with comfort was trusting that because I was cheated on in my last relationship. So that was just my fear. That was the baggage that I brought into my current relationship. And I just learned to trust myself that if I was going to get cheated on again, I knew that I could trust myself to recognize the signs and to be able to walk away. Yeah. And if I survived it last time, I can survive it again, but this time I'll probably be a bit more graceful. Yeah. Because, I mean, hopefully, second time around. Yeah. But anyway, that was something that, I don't know, just helped me to be more comfortable in the present moment and just like allow whatever is going to happen to just happen. Just surrender to it.
You can only control yourself and what you do and how you react to the situation, how you react to whatever it is. You can't control other people. You can't. Yeah. Yeah.
Which probably provides you with a little bit less guilt, right? About your dad. You can't control his behavior.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
you were mad. All you can do is just honor your own emotion.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. But I mean, I get it.
Yeah. No, I know.
It's pretty intense.
It is. It's a lot.
Did you go to therapy? Do you like therapy and stuff?
I did. Yeah. I think therapy is awesome. I really do. People are like, I don't want to go to therapy because, it's like a huge stigma around it. Yeah. But no, it really helped a lot. And there's still things that like the therapist told me that I used today. I mean, she did this like jar scenario, right? Where imagine you're holding a jar and then all of your bad feelings, all your bad thoughts, put them in that jar and then seal it up and you put it on the shelf.
Do we have the same therapist? My therapist said the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also on that note, she said, now imagine you have a box. Mm-hmm. In that box, put your most precious memories with your dad. Put them in that box. Mm-hmm. Now put them on the top shelf also. It's been a while, but then make sure to grab that box when you need it. Like the jar you want to just disregard, like it's there, it's on the top shelf. We're going to ignore it. We're going to forget about it, right? But the box, it's your memory box.
And this is all just like
mental, right?
Imagination. Like,
yeah.
Can you actually have an actual jar?
Well,
if you want to?
Probably. I'm sure you can.
No, can't. It's against rules.
Not
gotta be fake.
Put all your notes in there. I actually do have a memory box, a real one, but it has like cards and notes from like loved ones in it.
Nice.
That's fun cool. Memories and stuff.
Do you dive into it often?
Not often, no, but like once a year or like when I really need to. Like I'll just
cry and cry.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that I don't really cry, but it just kind of, it almost like, I don't even know how to explain it.
It's just a lot of emotions.
Yeah.
Happy, sad.
Yeah. And it's funny. I'm just so thankful that I even have that. Mm-hmm. Like, especially nowadays, we don't have handwritten stuff. We don't get letters from family in the mail anymore, really,
Never.
And so the fact that I have handwritten notes, like I don't have a lot from my dad. I really don't. I have, I don't know, like I have like one drawing that he did, and then I have 2 handwritten things. Which are in my memory box. Mm-hmm. I have the phones with like our messages on it still, but I think the phones are broken. I just have hope that someday that I'll salvage the text messages on there. I don't know.
That's cool.
But
yeah, that's intense. Yeah. I don't know why nostalgia makes me so sad. Yeah. Whenever I feel any kind of nostalgia, I just want to weep. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's because I had a good childhood too. Like I had a really good childhood, and then being an adult's fucking hard.
It is.
So you kind of long for the past. I almost wonder why you
struggle. Like maybe like we struggle more.
Yeah.
On that because we struggle more moving forward. I know I do. I've noticed actually like I struggle moving forward because I pictured my life going differently. I pictured it being different.
Oh yeah.
I want to do all the things that I did as a kid, and it's like, I mean, I can, but it's definitely not the same.
Right. So you're kind of grieving this like expectation of a future.
Of a future that I created.
Yeah, yeah. You're like, this is my life should be different.
Yeah. and you can't do that. You can't mourn a future that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
You know,
Mourning something that doesn't exist.
exactly. And so many of us do that with relationships, with jobs, with everything.
Yeah, with loved ones, family. Like, I think that some of my family members, I don't know this to be true, but I feel like some of them still view me as the old me, and I'm very different than I used to be 2-3 years ago. And I think that some of them had to go through like a grieving process, like this old version of me that kind of, like even my sister, she was here the other day, we were doing a podcast, and I used to be like really, really goofy and weird and just like silly. It was like a main staple of my personality.
Yeah.
And I've kind of like matured and just become a bit more serious.
Yeah.
And she's like, I miss like the old weird Ammon where you'd like do weird shit and post it on the internet. It's like, I mean, like I have clients. I have to, uphold some kind of
image. I can't
have
do
dignity.
that anymore.
But yeah, just when it comes to like really big things, when a person changes, a lot of people want to hold on to this, identity that they have of you or had of you. And this, I don't know, just what they meant to you, the position that you held in their life, and they want to keep you there because it's comfortable. It's what they know. It's familiar.
Yeah.
And as you grow as a person to do what's best for you, which is nobody else's fucking business, people get mad because they want you to be a different way, but we don't owe anybody anything.
Yeah.
We're allowed to change and grow, and I don't know. That makes me mad, but it's hard when it's like, I want to have relationships with these people. Like, I love them. Why can't you just accept me for who I am now? Like, exactly. I'm still a decent person.
Yeah.
I maybe just swear more and have longer hair and drink, but it's not like that bad.
Yeah.
So,
maybe this is a better me, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious about your emotional comfort zone. So you said that you really thrive in your sadness.
Yes.
Do you feel, and you've said a couple times throughout our conversation that you're not an angry person, or people see you as like a sad person. Do you consider yourself like, do you attach an emotional identity to like you, who you are?
I have, yes. And it's funny, like this new year, I'm trying to shift and become, honestly, I feel like I'm trying to become a different person. I'm trying to like kind of break the cycle, right? But yes, I always considered myself a sad person. Like I'll be on dates and people will be like, are you happy?
My name is Angelina and I am sad. I am a sad person.
This is Angeline Wolff and I am sad.
That would be hilarious. Do you remember the episode with Cody? My name's Cody Porter and I have issues.
Yeah.
That would have been hilarious. But like, my name's Angie and I'm sad.
My name is Angie. I'm sad. That is
I have a lot of depth of sadness. Yes. Buy my book.
Yeah. I feel like I didn't pin that on myself initially.
That was like your Tinder profile.
Right.
Sad.
Yeah. Sad. No. But it's almost like other people have kind of pinned that on me also. Like sadness has become my identity and I don't love it, but also at the same time, it's not like being sad isn't a bad thing. It doesn't make you a bad person. I mean,
no, it's there for a reason.
I mean, people look at me and they're like, you're not sad. You're fine. I'm giggly and shit,
Yeah. Yeah, you seem happy.
Exactly.
Are you sad right now?
No, I'm not. I'm happy right now. But exactly. I mean, you can be sad, but while you're sad, you can still be happy. You can, all of it.
Yeah, multiple emotions can exist at the same time.
Exactly. Yes. But yeah, people will be like, "Are you happy? Like, are you a happy person?" And I'll just be like, I mean, I'm happy, but I consider myself like a sad person. But then I'll kind of continue to be like, but that's not a bad thing. But then I explain it in a sense where, I mean, because like I said, I thrive off of my sadness. And when I'm sad, I accomplish a lot of shit.
Right.
I accomplish a lot of good things. Like
my career is birthed out of sadness.
It really has. It really has.
My daughter was birthed out of sadness and she saved my life. Like sadness saved my life.
Yes, it's like sadness has become my friend. Sadness is there for me more than happiness is.
Yeah.
And
so interesting. Most people try to push sadness away, but you're just like, give me sadness.
I embrace it. Yeah. but I'm learning how to do it. I'm trying to learn how to do it in more of a healthy way. So
maybe just like more balanced.
Exactly, more balanced versus, yeah. But I recognize it now. Before I didn't recognize it. I go into my hole. That's what my friends call it. They know it's like a roller coaster, and I get quiet. I kind of become antisocial, and I disappear.
Yeah.
Even just for short amounts of time, like a few days or a week, I'll just disappear.
Into your sad hole.
Just leave me alone. I'm just gonna lay here and die.
I feel like that all the time. Well, I don't know. The reason I ask is because I've been trying to adjust the way that I think about emotions and not attach them to who I am as a person, like my identity. Like I am Ammon. I'm not sadness. Like that movie Inside Out.
Yes.
Where they're all just,
they're the emotions. Yeah.
You are you. You just have all these emotions that exist inside of you all the time. And you experience them one at a time, sometimes two at a time, sometimes all of them, and it's weird and you feel strange and awkward.
Yeah.
But you're just like a human being that's experiencing the emotion of sadness, and that emotion happens to be familiar for you because you've experienced so much of it in your life. So I don't know. I feel like so many times people are just like reaching for happiness, and when it finally comes, they like grip onto it and they don't want to let it go. And then when it goes, like they sink back into their depression because they are constantly striving for happiness.
Right.
And I think that if people could just like,
and that's the whole thing with like healing and being more present. You just have to appreciate the moment as it is. You have to accept the fact that like this too shall pass. You think like you're happy, well, it's going to go away. You're sad and you think nothing is going to get better, like the sun isn't going to rise. Well, guess what? The sun does come up every day. It's
sometimes in Oregon though, it's very gloomy for like a long time.
That's fair, especially in the summer when it's just smoke.
It's like, yeah, the sun's coming out, but not for like a few months. And I don't know if I can make it.
Yeah. But some periods are longer than others, but it's more about being present.
Yeah, for sure. Life's weird. I don't think that there's like you say, you want to have a healthier relationship with sadness. I don't even know. I don't know
what that looks like.
Yeah. What does that even look like? You could just be sad. If you feel sad, just feel it, I guess.
I think it's just about recognizing the signs. Like, okay, well, shit, I don't feel great today. Like I think I'm going to be sad. And then, but having tools to get yourself out of it, I think is what's the most important. What do you do that makes you happy? What brings you joy? Who around you, or what is it that keeps making you sad? Is it a person? Is it a thought?
Yeah.
I mean, we really can't, I guess we can control our thoughts, but at the same time, we really can't, it's just chaos in there, right? Like I mean, you can try to think positive thoughts. But
sure, like you can't control them coming up, but you can control like what you do with them.
Exactly.
And how you act on them.
Yeah.
And if you decide to dwell on them or something.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, what keeps making you sad? Well, can you remove that? Is there something that you can do to help yourself? Like, and then a lot of times it's discipline. But it's hard. I mean, it's easier said than done. I can say that as much as I want. There's still things that I struggle with, or I can't let go of people, or I can't move on, or I'm dwelling on this or that, or what ifs. But I don't know, just finding things that can help you pull yourself out of it is just good. If it's sometimes writing, if it's tricky. Art, if it's being around friends, if it's going on a hike, whatever it is,
Sometimes that's tricky, like to find a healthy coping mechanism, especially if you have like an addictive personality or you just kind of go towards unhealthy things because it's easier and quicker. Like who wants to go fucking hiking? That's fair. In winter.
Yes.
In Oregon. It's so cold here. But you can write, but I don't like to write. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to find like a healthy coping mechanism.
It is.
That's like a whole thing too.
Yeah.
I'm so curious. Like I'm fascinated that you listen, like you're a fan of Jordan Peterson.
Oh yeah.
What else have you learned from him that you have like gotten a lot from?
Well, how it all started was once upon a time, I was depressed.
Ooh, story time.
Story time. No, once I just got out of a relationship. This was a few years ago, and I was just like, I was distraught. It just hit me harder than it should have, honestly. But, anyways, and so.
What do you mean? Harder than it should have.
I always say that. I don't know. I feel like things. I just don't handle breakups well. I just don't handle certain things well.
Well, maybe because you're.
Maybe it's the abandonment issues.
Emotionally very in touch with your emotions, and so you just feel really deeply.
That could be.
I feel like,
too.
and this is just my own opinion, my thoughts. I feel like people that do well with breakups, quote unquote, well for the audience,
quote unquote.
People who do well with breakups, they just are. They don't process the emotions. They're just like, or they didn't love the person at all in the first place, so it's not even a big fucking deal. They're like,
That's
yeah, whatever.
fair. Yeah.
I was trying to get out of that relationship anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
So you're going through a relationship that you took the breakup really hard.
Yeah, I was distraught. And so I'm like, well, I don't want to be like this anymore. I want to be happy again. And so I was trying to figure out, okay, what, like, I'm going to start my morning off differently. So then, because I wake up and I get ready and I just had music on or whatever.
Yeah, standard wake up.
Yeah.
Standard beginning to a day.
Now I started searching like motivational videos on YouTube. That's it, just motivational videos. And little snippets like would play in the morning. And I listened to like TD Jakes. He has a lot of, I haven't
heard of him.
He's a pastor. But he does a lot of, there's a lot of motivational stuff. Like it's not even like on religion. It's just about
There's a lot of self-help stuff out there.
Yes.
Well, Jordan Peterson's very religious, isn't he? It's like pretty
He is.
Christian.
Yes, he is. But it kind of just compiled all of different people together. Les Brown and Dr. Joe Dispenza is another one. I love him too because he talks about the mind and thoughts and how you can rewire your brain.
Yeah. Do you listen to Alan Watts?
Yes.
Super good.
Yes.
So like, kind of like ethereal and out there, kind of like hippie, but he's good.
So I
Really cool.
started listening to that in the morning, and then I found Jordan Peterson. He kind of really, I just resonated with a lot of things that he said, and makes you want to be a better person, and makes you. He's not afraid to say like the bad things, and
Yeah, I like that. It does make you feel like you want to be less of a bitch, at least for me. Like, you know what? Like, yeah.
But he tells you like to take responsibility for your life. Like that's almost like his main message, you know. It's like everything that you do matters, and
a lot of society is trying to like blame shift and yeah, I guess just blame other people for their
you
struggle.
Point fingers and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like it's you. Like,
yeah, how can you take this control back into your own life? What can you do that's in your control to fix it yourself?
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
it's just so fascinating. I always, whenever I listen to him, I feel like he's always talking to men. Like he even said in that quote, he says like, I always tell young men, you should be a monster.
Be a monster, yeah.
So,
learn how to control it.
But that's cool that you found a way to relate it to yourself. That's cool, important.
I feel like I don't have a lot of like female friends. Like I feel like a lot of my friends are men, and I know that's it's a whole different topic because everyone's like, well, they're not like your friends. You can't have friends of the opposite sex.
Well, but
yada yada.
What is your experience with them? Are they actually your friends?
Yeah.
So then fuck those people. God, haters. Like she can't have guy friends. She's too pretty. Yeah. They all just have a motive.
Well, I just feel like my experience is like women don't like me, really, like right off the bat. I mean, even like at Portrait Slam, for example, I didn't know this. I became friends with one of the photographers, and she came up to me later and like just randomly, I think she was like, I'm really glad that I got to know you. And she's like, because everyone was saying how you're just full of yourself and yada yada. And I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I'm really like, I'm down to earth and I'm friendly. Like I want to be friends with everybody, you know? And but I feel like people look at me and maybe I just have like a mean mug face or like a resting bitch face, right? Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but
I don't know.
a lot of women, like, they just look at me and they're like, automatically they don't like me.
Weird.
It was really hard for me to make friends when I first moved here too, especially because, I mean, making friends, it's different when you grow up in the area. You went to school together, you're around each other a lot, but when you move to somewhere completely new, you don't know anybody.
You really have to break out of your shell.
Yeah. And I worked in retail and for a while, and I didn't like that. I don't love working with women either, just because there are a lot of women they're just catty, or just.
God, I feel like, yeah.
But I work with men. Like, I work for 2 attorneys, and I love it. And I don't know.
It is kind of a male-dominated industry.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
But personality-wise, I just feel like I connect with men. Is that weird to say? I don't know. But, and not to say that, women, there's a lot of other women like me too who have my kind of mindset. Like, not all women are gossipy or catty.
I've heard that from lots of women that have said that. But I don't know. I feel like I have to be so careful with what I say because I'm in a female-dominated industry. Well, I mean, sort of.
Like, podcast-wise, or like the creative industry?
Like photography.
Photography.
There's a lot of female photographers, and I'm starting to shift more into videography, which is a bit more male-dominated, I think. I don't know the stats. I need like a Google person to fact check me.
Run the...
Braden, come. I'm gonna hire you. I'll pay you in friends. Sorry. So, and most of my clients are women. Anybody who reaches out is a woman. Even if I'm shooting a family, it's not the dude, it's not the husband that's like, hey, I'd love to get my family some photo shoots. Like, no guys do that, in my experience. And I've had a lot of really negative experiences with women in this career. I used to be an Uber driver when I lived in Salt Lake. When I was a firefighter, and I did Uber driving on the side. And all of my worst rides were with women. Like, there was this one chick who was super drunk and just like reaching up and just like grabbing me, and I had to like walk her to her door at her house. I dropped her off at her house, and she was like trying to come on to me. I'm like, ugh. This other girl, same thing, just super high, dropped her off, and she got out. I had to get her phone because she lost it. Got it from my floorboard, and then she just got out and just pulled her pants down right in front of me and started peeing. What the fuck?
My God, that's aggressive.
Yeah, that is aggressive.
It's aggressive.
I mean, she was kind of,
it's still,
probably blacked out, but still, like,
that's
I've just had like really intense relationships with women, and I mean, I've had some pretty intense experiences with men. Like, my uncle molested me like multiple times. So I'm not like, I don't have like a preference, I suppose. I'm fine with working with men or women. When I was a kid, I did seem to gravitate towards women more. Like, I just made friends. They were just less intimidating, and I was kind of more of a sensitive, shy dude. But then I joined the fire service, and it was 99.9% men. Yeah. And I didn't fit in very well, but I tried. And now that I'm in my 30s, I do find myself like craving guy time. So I don't know. I think it comes with just like being confident in myself. But yeah, I mean, it's not abnormal, I don't think, to like, girls are scary. Girls are competitive. Girls are, I don't know.
It's just funny. Like, I feel like I've just been backstabbed by women, but the men are always there for me. Like, my guy friends they're always there for me. And like, they, I have a friend, his name's Clint, but when I'm like in my hole, like, sometimes like he'll just show up and be like, all right, let's go, we're leaving, like, right now. And I'll be like, no, like, I don't, fuck you. I just want to not talk to anyone or do anything. And he's like, no, really, like, we're leaving right now. I'm like, oh, fuck, okay, all right. And then we'll just go play mini golf, or, we'll go golfing or riding dirt bikes,
That's
something.
So nice to have a friend that just like pulls you out.
Exactly. Yeah. And
important.
I mean, and now I have female friends who do that for me also, too. But I feel like growing up, and for like the first part of my young adult life, I really didn't have a lot of female friends, and it's like I couldn't trust women. But really also it's just kind of about, I think it's good to keep your circle small. I really do. Like, I think, you have like a handful of really good friends who are there for you.
Yeah.
And then,
I agree.
yeah.
It's way more manageable too. They're probably just all like jealous of your looks. Like,
I don't know. So that's what people say.
this bitch, like, I just want to look like her.
Well, I feel like that just sucks. Like, and I get it, because like I'm a woman. Like, I'll look at someone and be like, oh shit, she's really pretty. But see, when I do that, I think she's really pretty. We should fucking be friends. Or I'll go compliment them. Compliments go a long way. Like,
is that
your hair is really pretty. Like, I love your outfit. Like,
does your mind just automatically, has it always just done that, or have you had to, like, is that a conscious decision that you make to be like, to push away the jealousy, or to?
No, I've always been that way. I mean, I feel like I'm really not a jealous person. I even say that to like people like I'm in relationships with. Like, I'm really not a jealous person. I did go through phases, but I noticed that really the only reason why I became jealous was because my partner wasn't trustworthy. And so it really
you had a reason to be.
Exactly. It wasn't because like it was more so I was scared of losing that person, and it's
and you couldn't trust them.
Exactly, but I couldn't trust them.
But
they gave me reasons not to. And so like there would be one specific person, or there would be multiple people where I was like, why are you talking to them? Or, but it's because just untrustworthy situations happened, right? But otherwise, I'm really not a jealous person. Like, I'm confident with who I am, and I have a mindset of like, if you don't, like, if I have to compete for your attention, or if I have to, then I don't want that. Like, I don't want you, you should be like happy to be with me. You should be thankful that.
What made you so attached to this person then, this partner?
See, and I know this is the catch-22. Well,
that's the mystery.
I was young. The person that I'm thinking of, like I was young, and I thought that we had a future together, but there was a lot of cheating going on, and so, I had the mindset of.
Did you know about the cheating?
Yeah, I did, and I stayed. See, so it's just a thing. Like, I don't know. I really wanted it to work. And my daughter was young, and he was around a lot. And so it was, my problem was I had this vision of like, I want the family. Like, I want the white picket fence that I had. So that's mom and dad, and a happy, healthy family, and yada, yada. And so, but I didn't realize, you have to be with the right person in order to create that.
Like a dude that's going to show up and be faithful. And
exactly. Yeah. And then I was scared of like hurting my daughter because she already became so attached to this guy.
Oh yeah.
And she was, but she was
it's different
young,
when you have a daughter to think about. Yeah. Why did you move to Oregon, being from Nebraska, and then? So
we were only in Nebraska because my dad was, he worked for Cabela's. He was like he worked for corporate for Cabela's.
Corporate of Cabela's in Nebraska?
Like corporate Cabela's, yeah.
Oh, like headquarters?
Yeah. So they, Cabela's. Nebraska, and
so,
in Sydney, yeah.
There's snowboarding apparently and skiing. There's headquarters of Cabela's.
Yeah.
What?
They started in this little brick building. I remember Cabela's when it was just small. But then of course it grew and it was huge, and so.
Yeah, most people have heard of it, I think.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like cornfields in Nebraska.
Well, it is, especially in the Panhandle. It's just corn and hay. It kind of smells like the color brown all the time.
It smells like the color brown?
Yeah.
I weirdly know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
So then why did you come to Oregon?
So we were only there because for his job, but all of my family's on the West Coast.
Oh, okay.
So my dad's
you said
side.
You were born in California.
Yeah. So my dad's side is in Southern California. My mom's side, we're all up here. Yeah, so we moved to be closer to family. So
after he passed, you moved back here?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yep.
And you've been here ever since?
Yes.
Do you like it here in Oregon?
I do.
Why'd you pick Oregon, though, over going back to Southern California?
Honestly, it was my uncle.
Really?
We didn't have anyone in Medford. We had people, I had family living in San Francisco. We had them in Crescent City, but no one was in Medford. I enjoy theater. I love theater, and I needed to go to
Shakespeare.
Yes. And so I applied for SOU, and I got into SOU. But I only did that because my uncle was like, well, Medford's a good spot. It's in Southern Oregon. It's close to the family. You can get to Crescent City. You can get to us.
Yeah.
There's an airport there, big theater town. So really it was my uncle who was like, this is a good spot. My mom was like, okay, well, let's go. So
How did your mom handle? Do you have siblings?
I do have a brother.
Older or younger?
Younger. He's 21 because he was born in the year 2000.
Ew.
Nope. So he's going to be 22 this year. But
yeah, my brother, he just turned 21 and he was born in year 2000.
Oh, nice. My brother has autism, but I did get him to take a sip of spiked orange juice.
You got him too. I don't want it.
Well, he's just very set in his ways. A lot of people with autism
is
are
like
that way.
it's like a spectrum, isn't it? Like you can be very autistic, and then
so
kind of mild.
So he's higher functioning, but still, But so I got him to take a drink with me. But my mom,
21, you got to take a shot with me.
Yeah, I was like, you have to. It wasn't even a shot. It was literally a sip, and it took me like weeks of talking. Like I planted the seed. And I kept following up and nurturing it, and then finally, that's what you have to do because I can't just spring it on him. If I would have showed up the morning of, like, hey,
have you ever? Like, no. This might be a weird question. Have you ever used your strength of your words? Which I'm curious about that too. Like what that means. Like, are you just
like manipulative?
Yeah. Have you ever used it to manipulate people to like your advantage?
I plead the fifth.
You're like, I only use my strength of my words to de-escalate conflict.
Oh, it's funny actually. I've been told by a lot of people that I'm manipulative, and I don't know if that's a good thing. I feel like
I've been called that too, but it's because of the whole I'm open thing,
right? And
people have sometimes interpreted that as I like tricked them to be more open than they would have been. Mm-hmm. I'm like, bro, it's not my fucking fault that you decided to tell me about
you shared
X,
all
Y,
those
and Z.
Things. Yeah, these things with me. I don't do it like on purpose. Like I'm not malicious. But
to get your brother to drink, you're like,
that's fair with certain things.
It tastes like, what was it again? What was the drink?
It was spiked orange juice. So it was like a screwdriver.
Tastes like oranges. You're gonna love it.
Well, yeah, because he drinks orange juice every day. That's part of his routine. And I was like, if I put a little bit of vodka in it, I promise you won't taste it. But then you're drinking with me, so we're,
Yeah.
But I knew in order to get him to do that, I had to start ahead of time and kind of
groom him.
That's such a terrible. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, that's a bad way to put it.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. But yeah, how did your mom handle your dad's death?
I don't know. Like my mom, she's such a strong woman. Like she's the man of the house. Like even when my dad was around, like that's just how it is. I mean, we had horses and she takes care of the horses. She's always doing everything. She does things around the house. My mom's a wonderful woman. And naturally, I mean, she was upset. And I assume it still affects her. I mean, we don't really talk about it a whole lot.
It seemed like you didn't really talk about it at all.
That's fair. With
anyone.
I don't, no. And I don't think we really talked about it. And I don't know why. I guess, I mean, it's different because I lost my dad, but she lost her husband, and.
She didn't see it coming either?
No. And that had to be such an incredibly hard thing to go through because, I mean, I know like when I go through a breakup, right, I'm sad. I'm just like...
You make it sound like you break up all the time.
Well, I haven't been in a lot of relationships. I've only been in like 3, I think, like in my adult life. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I date people, like I see people, but not like an actual relationship, right? And it hits me hard because like once you're my person, like you're my person.
Yeah.
Like
and don't abandon me, motherfucker.
I'm all in. Like I love you, and I
day one.
Well, not day one, but
I know.
It's just I have a tendency to go into things all like just head first,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't dip my toes in and figure it out, and then, you know.
I do. I definitely test the waters.
And I feel like I should be that person now. Now I should be like, okay, let me put my toe in first. Maybe I should stop doing that. Anyways, but like when I went through a breakup, like I would be really sad, and I had, I still have to be a mom. My daughter has needs. Like
Is she
wants
you
to play
full
like,
time?
Yeah, it's just me and her. Yeah, her dad chooses not to be in the picture, so which is for the best, honestly.
That's weird. I just can't imagine. Anyway, sorry. I can't imagine. I don't know. My dad was very present. I want to be present. I don't really super want kids at the moment, like we talked about earlier. I mean, right. I'm open, but if I did, like, I would be. That's one thing that I'd be all in. But I'm like dipping my toes in the water by like hanging out with my nieces and nephews, being like, nah, I'm not ready yet.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But my mom went through such a big loss, and my mom didn't work because she was stay-at-home mom. She took care of me and my brother, and
yeah,
my dad was a breadwinner. And so then all of a sudden, so we went from our very good lifestyle and vacations and all that jazz to poverty. And
like no life insurance, anything. You just kind of.
Well, see, the way suicide works.
Oh yeah, true.
If with certain policies, if you don't die from natural causes, then all that goes away. So, but we weren't just like stranded. Like wasn't like we were on the street or anything like that. But our lifestyle definitely changed.
Yeah.
And then she has to grieve. She has to deal with me and my brother grieving, but she has to keep everything in order. And her daughter got pregnant.
Oh yeah, now she's about to be a grandma.
Now she's gonna be a grandmother. She knows damn well I can't support this kid, so that means now we're gonna support another child. Like, dang. So my mom helped me a lot. She still helps me a lot, like with my daughter and everything. But
is she here in town?
Yes. Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, so my mom is amazing. Just thinking about how she got through that and goes, and then, if she's sad, I think she keeps it to herself. Like maybe she has moments alone or whatever away from us, because I haven't really seen her break down a whole lot.
She's gotta hold it together.
Yeah, so she's so strong. I mean, I want to be like her, and I know I'm not. I'm definitely like, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. Like I like to think that when I'm going through something is not obvious, but I have been told otherwise. Like I'll show up and like my whole demeanor is off. Like my energy is just off. Even if I'm trying to like fake it or something. So.
Well, some people are just a lot more perceptive to it than other people. Some people are very oblivious to anything but themselves. That's fair. And I mean, I don't know you that well, so I don't know. I couldn't make a judgment on that. But I don't know. I think that sometimes strength is allowing your emotions to exist and to show them and to say like, I'm mad or I'm really sad. Like I'll cry in front of people. I'm a huge weeper. I cry all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Which is why I consider myself like, or I used to, well, I still do, like a sensitive person. Like I just feel really deeply and I just cry a lot. And, as kids.
It's healing to cry. It's like, honestly, I think it's good. Like you have to have a good cry once in a while.
Feels good.
It does. It releases so much. Yes. It's like your body's way of healing. It's because your tears, I think I read this somewhere, like your tears have like the stress hormone is in them. So it's like your body's way of naturally releasing that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, where's Braden?
Yeah.
We need a fact checker.
But no, I feel like when you like cry, like you really just let it all out. I mean, a lot of times you feel so much better the next day. Like a weight was released. So it's not a bad thing. I think people like, and that's why I write. I mean, I want to normalize all of this. We have to talk about it, because I think we can just save so many more lives if we just get rid of the taboo of mental health, really. Yeah. I mean, it's especially for men. I mean, it's seen as such a weakness.
Yeah.
You can't be sad. You can't talk about it. You can be angry. It's manly to be angry and to break things and hit somebody,
Yeah, we're allowed to be mad.
But you can't be sad. Now all of a sudden you're weak. Like that's, I feel like that's not okay.
I know. Where does that come from?
Just old school. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I wonder where though. Like, did old
Like,
society
who chose?
just? Yeah, who chose that?
decided?
I guess just do maybe it's just typical. Like more women cry more often or something, and so
we're just dainty and we're allowed to be small and cry and
yeah. So recently, Jordan Peterson was on the Joe Rogan podcast just like a couple days ago.
Okay.
And I had a photo shoot in North Bend on the coast. And so I listened. It was like a 4-hour episode.
Nice.
I listened to the whole thing.
Yeah.
And he talks a lot about, he's known for talking about transgendered people. Mm-hmm. And they talk about it in the episode. And it was interesting to hear his perspective of like, when you're a kid, like I grew up with sisters. Mm-hmm. I'm the oldest, but then I have a sister and then a brother, then a sister, and then 2 brothers. So 6 of us total. I have 2 sisters, and me and my sister, when we were kids, we would like play house. We would play dress up. We would just do that kind of thing. And then, but she would do it with me too. Like I would play this video game called Contra for all the, 89 babies, 90s babies out there that know what Contra is. And it's like, you're these 2 dudes and you run around with a gun. You're just like shooting aliens.
Okay.
And so we would play that too. Like she would grab her little toy gun and we would play that. And then I would meet her in her female ways and we would play house and school and whatever.
Yeah.
And Jordan Peterson was talking about that's good for young kids to do because it helps men understand women.
Oh, yeah.
And vice versa. Mm-hmm. And people that, it's like you're just playing. You're playing at doing that. You're understanding. You're developing this sense of ability to understand the opposite sex. And transgendered people, this is just Jordan Peterson's theory, his words. He says that people that are transgender just maybe never did that. Mm-hmm. And so now they're just doing it now as an adult. They're playing at it. Mm-hmm. And some people just feel like it's so deep that they feel like they're in the complete wrong body.
Right.
And so they go as far as to get, they change their body. They go through surgery and they want to be the opposite sex. Mm-hmm. So I don't really remember what my point was, but I feel like it's good. It's healthy.
To talk about everything. Yeah. Regardless of what it is, if it's being transgender, if it's all of your feelings,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's hard if you grow up as the only child or you grow up with parents that say
if
you have to be this way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's important to allow your kids to just do whatever, with certain limitations and boundaries, but to let them play.
Yeah.
But what the fuck do I know? I don't have any kids. I don't know.
No, I think that's true. I mean, and I was lucky like with my parents because I'm such a dreamer and they didn't like squash that, mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, some parents, they want you to be a certain thing or you can't do that. That's not allowed. That's whatever.
It's going to be bad for you. We don't want you to turn out weird as an adult.
Yeah. Summer actually was using my hair recently. She said this, oh God, what was it? It was so good. Like you don't want to be your kid's first bully. Something like that, right?
Wow,
yeah.
Such wisdom.
And it makes so much sense. And even because we're so hard on our kids a lot of the time. Like we don't want them to be like us or we want them to be a certain way or, you have to follow society. Like you can't, that's rude. You can't do this. You can't do that, And but at the same time, you have to make sure that you don't like squish them. Like don't like rain on their parade. Like if they have a dream, let them chase that dream, whatever it is. And make sure like you don't want to make them feel inferior or create insecurities for them. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of the times as parents, we do that to our kids, even not knowing.
Like, so much of our trauma mm-hmm. and issues, abandonment issues, it comes from our parents.
Yeah.
And it's not really fair. Like, I don't know, you got pregnant so young. Like, you were still trying to figure out your life. You were in a place of a lot of pain and a lot of, like, your life was completely changing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, my mom had me when she was 19. My dad was 22. And you're young. Like, I'm 32 and I still don't feel like I'm ready or prepared. I feel like I would make so many mistakes.
Yeah.
It's a huge fear of mine to be like, I don't know. Like, I would be so afraid of just like making a wrong move, saying the wrong thing. And then all of a sudden my kids got
They're messed up.
an issue or
there's
some kind of traumatic, and it bleeds over into their adulthood. So yeah, it's
I feel like
hard.
you're never really ready. There's lots of books. There's lots of books on parenting and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But every kid's different. Every scenario, every situation is
True.
different. And so it's just, you kind of learn as you go. I mean, I have a lot of things that I wish I would have done differently. But at the same time,
As a mother?
yes. So, I mean, I had her young. I feel like I wasn't a good mother. People tell me otherwise, so that's good. And the fact that like I care says that you're a good mother, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, but there was things that I've done that aren't like what I was processing my sadness a lot. I was sad a lot when she was young. And there were moments where it's almost like she had to mother me. And there's like, your children shouldn't have to parent you. That's not a responsibility. Like, that's not a burden they should have to deal with. One time I was really sad in my apartment, and I was sleeping all day. And she was little. She was like 5. Yeah. And it was to the point where, like, she would come bring me, like, breakfast in bed and kind of rub my head,
At
make
5?
sure. Yeah. She'd make sure I was okay. And then she would kind of quietly play by herself.
Wow,
Like,
you got a good kid.
yes. And she's very emotionally intelligent, and she's very independent. And I think it's only because of how absent I was initially, because I wasn't providing that for her. So she provided that for me. She had to step in and be the mom. So it's like, she, now she's so independent. And I think it's because of that. It's because of my moments of weakness, she had to step in and grow up. And, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like I said in the beginning, I think she's going to be a wonderful adult. And because, she's intelligent, because things like that happens.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's not fair to her that she had to grow up fast. She's 10. I mean, well, she's still a kid, right? She hasn't, but
Sure.
Still, there's just things I know, like, I wish I would have done differently. I wish I wouldn't have let her see me cry or done that. I should have been stronger, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But,
I
you can't
disagree. I think it's probably so good that she saw you cry.
Yeah.
And saw you in pain and processing your emotions.
Yeah.
I think about my upbringing, and there's a lot of things that I wish that, like, my dad, for example, would have done differently. Like, he was very private too. He would just mostly specifically about, like, his own struggle and finances and stuff. Like, he just didn't include me in any kind of financial talk or things that he struggled with as a kid or a teenager or even as a young adult. He just didn't really talk about it. And I think it's probably because he wanted me to see him as, like, this strong man and to be an example for me. And he didn't want to let me know that he had struggles or whatever. But I wanted that. I wanted a real relationship. And now as an adult, I have felt a lot of, like, frustration with that. I'm like, Dad, just fucking talk to me. And actually, I had this breakdown like a year ago, and I just was, like, really, really struggling. And first person I thought of was him. I called him. He came right away, and we just took a drive. We went up to this mountain, Wood Rat, in Jacksonville.
Okay.
And we just finally fucking talked like just two men. And it was amazing. I still feel like he's kind of private and just he protects himself and whatever, but at the same time, it's so easy to be frustrated with our parents, to be mad. It's so easy for me to just like look at the negative things.
Yeah.
But he was there, like he was very much there. He is a very sentimental man, and he loves me like a lot, like more than I can probably understand. And so I try to just focus on that. Like he was there, he provided, he's always been there. He's texted me, he tells me he's proud of me. And at first when I left the church, he was obviously pretty disappointed in me and my behavior, my choices.
Right.
But he's really, really come around, and he's starting to like hang out with me more and to like tell me he's proud of me, and he's like really trying to understand and listen to me. And same with my mom. Like I've complained about them on the podcast before, but I feel like it's really important to just say like they are good parents. And I think that, yeah, I don't know. Most parents try their hardest.
Yeah.
Or just do the best they can for what they're capable of. So, but I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah. It's just...
There's not like a playbook.
You just learn as you go, and just hope for the best. And
when they have 6 kids, like there's 6 of us, and none of us came with a instruction manual.
And you're probably all different.
Super different. And even though they've parented us all pretty much the same, we all have become so different. And we all live in the same town. All 6 of us live here.
Oh, really?
In the valley.
Oh, how funny.
So, yeah, it's weird. Even, like, you're a product of your environment, but also you have your own personality. Mm-hmm. So you're going to be the way that you're going to be sometimes regardless of what you go through. Mm-hmm. You're going to make the decisions you're going to make. So.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah, I don't know. So I think that it's probably good that your daughter saw that. Yeah,
I don't know. It shaped her into the person that she is becoming. And so.
Yeah.
And I think it's good that has that capability. It's good that she's nurturing. I mean, a lot of women, naturally we're nurturing, right? But she's like that so early on. And she's just she's very good with her emotions. She's very good at expressing how she feels.
Yeah.
So I think she gets that from me. So that's that's good.
Probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like,
that's cool.
When we get into arguments, sometimes she has moments where she's just an asshole. Yeah, I can see that. Our kids are assholes sometimes.
Major ones.
I'll try to tell her why that's wrong, or yada yada, and she'll just completely blow me off. The only way I can get it to hit is if I take it to an emotional level. Is this the manipulative part? No. No, where
I don't know.
I switch it and I'll be like, what you did and how you treated me really made me sad.
Oh.
Versus being the way you're talking to me in front of your friends right now, that's rude. You shouldn't do that. She'll just, Oh, yeah. Versus if I switch it and be like, do you understand that, when you talk to me that way in front of your friends, that makes me feel sad. That makes me feel yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And then it'll hit. And then she'll be like, oh, shit, I made my mom sad.
Gotcha.
So it's that underlying,
I don't know. Maybe it's manipulative. I don't know. But it's true for you. You're just saying this behavior makes me feel this way. Mm-hmm.
It's about how you communicate. Really, communication is so big in every aspect of life.
And she can do with that what she wants. If she's not required to change her behavior.
Exactly. She doesn't have to care.
She can still make you sad.
Yeah.
If she wants.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that if you were forcing her to be a different way, then maybe that would be manipulative. But yeah, I don't know. So tell me about your strength with your words. What does that mean to you? What does it look like? Do you have an extensive vocabulary and just the words and the articulation just kind of flow really nicely, or?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I feel like I've stumbled a whole lot with this too. I
feel like you're doing good.
Oh, thank you.
It's weird. It's not normal to be in front of all these cameras and have microphones.
And what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Yada yada. Go with my words. Well, really, I think I'm just good at communicating. And more so with writing, like with texting. And some people hate that, and I get it. I mean, I do think it's good to have those hard conversations or or just conversations, whatever, in person, right?
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, like with me, if I'm having a really hard time, I have to write it out. Like I have to write what it is that I'm feeling, because I can read it and explain it better when I'm writing it down for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But
When you write, do you do pen to paper?
no, I just do texting.
Oh.
Yeah.
like,
Even with my poetry, like I have the Notes app on my phone.
Yeah.
That's where all my poems are.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't do any kind of like paper?
No,
Interesting.
My handwriting is terrible, first of all.
Well, it's faster with typing.
It is. Well, and see, that's what it is too. Like with my poems, I write them so fast. It's really in like my page long poems I wrote in 10, 15 seconds. Like
Oh, wow.
just boom, like it comes to me. Like it's almost like venting. That's what it
yeah.
is. And then I end up going back and I'll kind of tweak some words, but most of the time it's just kind of that's what I felt and that's what I said, and it just happened to come across this way because I like speaking in metaphors, or I like play on words, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
Do you ever doubt your emotions? Like, I do that a lot. Like, I'll feel a certain thing, and I'm like, I shouldn't be feeling this way. Or sometimes it's hard for me to identify what the emotion is. Do you ever feel that way?
not really, no.
I think that's where my struggle with words comes, because, and that's why I'm more avoidant, because I don't know why I'm mad about something, or I don't know if I should be mad or have the right to be, or where it's coming from, and I want to just like process it on my own, and just, I don't know. I feel like I develop an opinion or a conclusion based off of time, like having time to sit with the emotion and like talking to other people about it. That's why I say that talking and just having conversation is really cathartic for me,
Right.
because it helps me to develop that thought. And maybe that's what writing is for you. Maybe. I try to write. Like I went out to the Applegate Lake yesterday and just sat in the car with no service and just wrote on my iPad. I have like a little pen and I just like
Right on
write it down. But I feel like whenever I'm writing, I'm thinking so much faster than I'm able to put it down.
Exactly. That's why I text.
Yeah, but even with typing, if I try to type, because I've tried that too, I'll have like a notes app and I have a journal section of my notes. But I don't know, I guess it's there, but I never like really go back and read it. But with conversation, I can express myself. I think it through better, because I'm in a conversation, so I have to like explore the thought in order to put it into words.
Right.
And then the other person can give me feedback, and a lot of times I would allow the other person's thoughts and feedback to be mine, like to be my opinion.
Right.
And that's where lately I've been working on, is like, I don't have to, I can leave that there. That's your opinion. That doesn't have to become mine. But it still helps me to develop my own. So that's kind of what I do.
Yeah, I don't doubt my feelings. I think, like you said earlier, I just feel them so strongly. So whatever it is that I'm in, like I know exactly what it is that upset me.
This is the most real thing I've ever had. I don't need to doubt this at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Whether it's I'm mad because like being cheated on or something like that, or I mean, I don't know. I mean, kind of like when I'm seeing someone and I'm excited and I'm happy about it or whatever. I write a lot because I guess I doubt that, and so but I don't doubt the feeling. But I'm able to really, with my words, kind of paint the picture of what I'm feeling. I'm like, wow, like this is exciting, but I'm scared. Like, what happens if it fails, or I don't know.
Yeah, what happens if it gets misinterpreted, or what happens if I'm not accurately.
If I'm feeling this way, but you don't feel this way, yada yada. But I write about all that, and that's what people like a lot too.
Oh yeah, I'm really curious about your book.
Oh yeah.
I want to see just.
I should have brought it. I don't know why I didn't think about bringing it.
It's okay.
But I don't know. People say that just my way with words, I can describe a feeling very well. I can paint a picture of what it is.
So you're really descriptive.
Yes. But I'm descriptive. I don't know.
Maybe that's what I doubt then is my words, not necessarily my emotion. Mm-hmm. Like I said earlier, sometimes it is hard for me to identify the emotion that I'm feeling. Mm-hmm. But then, I don't know. The picture that I paint, I'm like, is this really the picture that I want to be presented? Is this picture accurate of what I really feel? Because I'm not really sure exactly what I'm feeling. I know I'm feeling a lot, and it's really confusing and heavy, but I don't know. What made you decide to post your stuff on the internet, like on your Instagram?
I don't know. Impulse. I'm a very impulsive person. It's not really a good thing. I'm working on it. But
I guess it can kind of get you into trouble.
It
don't
can.
Think, just do, and just do all. Like, go all in.
Just go for it. Just blurt it out. Say something. I don't know. I actually remember one of the first things that I posted. It was kind of off of like Russian roulette was kind of the theme of it. I can't remember what it was exactly, but I was seeing someone. See, and that's the problem too. It's like I'm always writing about like a boy or
you're like Taylor Swift.
Yes. No, for real. And it's really, I don't want to be that person anymore. But like at the same time, it's not a bad thing. It's not. I mean, if that's what I'm going through, then that's what I'm going through. But I want to start writing about different things, writing about, I don't know, being happy and all that.
Yeah.
Jazz. But why I posted it, I don't know. Because we weren't even like friends on social media, so they didn't see it. I actually never really thought about that part either until recently, about how, what it's like for the other person to read my poem. So that part's probably selfish of me. And I like to think that it's broad enough to where I don't say the person's name, right?
Yeah.
Or, and I like to mix it up and pull from old feelings or whatever.
You never thought about what it would, like the
for
person
my
that you were
ex to
writing
read
about?
That. Yeah, or
gotcha.
The friend I was writing about, whatever,
Or just maybe the random reader that's just reading. Do you ever think about how it will be received by just anybody?
No, I don't.
That's probably good,
Yeah.
I think.
Well,
it keeps it more
pure. Yeah, and if you dive too deep into that, then it's almost like it's not authentic anymore because you're so worried about what other people's opinions of it will be.
It's like it becomes a fiction.
Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, I don't enjoy the fact that I'm like Taylor Swift in a sense with, but at the same time, that's just what I do now. I have to write about it. I don't have to post it.
Yeah.
Right. And there's certain ones that I don't, especially now, now that it's been brought to my attention that it hurts people's feelings. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to write about it, but I'm not going to post it. Probably post it down the road when it's not so relevant anymore, you know, which I do also. But some people will read it and it's not about them. It's, and they take offense to it or something like that. Yeah. And it's like, oh shit, I'm sorry. But.
Well, being offended is a part of life. Like maybe it's good. Maybe it's good that you feel uncomfortable, or it's good that you got offended. Maybe there's something that you need to do or change or look inward.
Yeah. If the glove fits, no.
Yeah.
If it resonated,
if the glove fits.
If it resonated, then no. But,
I mean, life is just so messy. Like, people get mad at this podcast for some of the things I say. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know much about a lot of things. Like, I talk to people that I don't know anything about. I had a conversation with my sister, and we were talking about depression and, like, specifically postpartum depression. Mm-hmm. And I came across as, like, so ignorant. And I knew it in the moment. It's like, I don't know anything about postpartum depression. Like, I'm a man, and I've never had a partner that's had a child. Mm-hmm. So I've never really experienced it, mm-hmm. other than like my sisters or my one sister. And so I just am talking about it. Like, that's how you learn. You like fumble through life in these topics, and you're going to make mistakes. And I think that a lot of people have a hard time with looking a certain way or appearing ignorant. And I don't know, like, to be able to admit that you're wrong, I think is important. Like I do all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, sorry, I didn't know anything about that, or
Well, that's what I was asking. That's what I was talking about.
yeah, or I changed my mind. Like
Yeah.
I said that one thing and I'm sorry. I didn't mean that, or I don't think that way anymore. I was still developing my opinion or my thoughts or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just being able to recognize that, like, you don't have to be married to your ideas or your thoughts, your opinions, or your lack of knowledge or something.
And that's such a hard thing to kind of go through with social media, though, because it's like social media almost becomes your identity.
Yeah.
What you post about, what you write about, what, your photos, your videos.
This is my portfolio on Instagram, and this makes up me as a person.
Yeah.
But really, it's like just this tiny fraction of a curated piece of your life. So,
yeah.
But that's probably why people spend so much time like developing their
craft,
the colors of their Instagram and like what they say, and they sit there for hours trying to think of a caption and then deleting it and then looking up, captions on Pinterest to find inspiration because they don't look like an idiot. Yeah, it's hard.
It is hard. And I don't like being put in a box, so to speak, like I don't like not being liked, right? I mean, I feel like a lot of people are that way. Some people are like, I don't care about anything, but...
those people are psychopaths. It's normal to want to be liked. Like you.
It is, but at the same time, like I don't... other people's opinions of me aren't what influences what I do, so to speak. And I'm fortunate in that aspect where I'm confident enough in myself so I write for me. Like if it makes you mad, then I'm sorry, don't read it. If you don't have to read it, you don't have to read what I write. I started doing this because it helps me, because I needed to figure out a way to be better. I needed to figure out a way to stop being sad, or while I'm in the sadness, how to just process what I'm going through so I can become a better person. Like that's always my goal. I want to keep growing. I want to be better. I want to become better. I want to be smarter, so that's why I like listening to Jordan Peterson or Dr. Joe Dispenza or other people, because I feel like the more that you listen to it or read it, if it's good positive things, it can kind of rub off on you, right? It's like people you surround yourself with, like your circle is like who you are, but if you don't create something out of fear, then you're just hurting yourself a lot of the time. Yeah. I mean, you have to, of course, be considerate or try not to be like ignorant, like especially if it's a gnarly topic, but
like you have to be open to learning,
right?
Rather than just like have this, I don't know.
But you can't let other people's opinions shape who you are.
Right.
Like.
Yeah, and you can't just sit there and feel like you know everything and that you just want to teach and you just want to talk and you want to, there's nothing, you're done learning.
Exactly. Yeah,
if
you can't be that person. Yeah.
You
fucked up.
Done. You fucked up.
Mistakes were made and you should figure that out. Yeah.
So, yeah, just, I don't know. I work with this woman and she's 84 or something. No. I don't know. She's probably not 80. She's old.
She's like 50. And
I hope she doesn't listen to this podcast. She's an older woman. She is, every time I see her, we go over to her place to do some work. She'll be like in a workshop doing like a photography workshop, or she's traveling, like meeting people, asking questions. And I just think that that's awesome. That's what I want to be like. I want to be open to learning. I don't feel like I'm ever going to be done. I think that the moment you feel that way, like you fucked up. You're just, and people are going to want to like to be around you.
Exactly.
Because nobody wants to be around somebody who's like a know-it-all who just wants to talk the whole time. People want to also be able to share their thoughts and their opinions and to be heard, and to feel like it feels good to like if somebody says, hey, like I learned a lot from you, or I this episode or this poem really taught me a lot, or it helped me learn something about myself, or it helped me in my relationship, or helped me process an emotion. That feels good. And to allow other people to have that same thing is good. And you do that by just being open to learning and listening. And
Yep.
I don't know.
It is. It's about being open to whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming onto the podcast and just being open, being vulnerable. I'm sure it's never easy, like, to be, maybe it is for you. I don't know. It's not always very easy for me.
I guess it kind of is for me in a sense, but I always just wonder, like, how far do I go? Because sometimes I go in too deep and I'm comfortable talking about it, but then everyone else is like, all right, well, I didn't need your life story. Hello,
Yeah.
Kitty.
Oh, here she comes. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but being considerate and being nice, I think that's, if you can do it with those two things, then you're golden. You're going to be, I don't know, I think it's just going to help a lot more people. Even if you are sharing a lot of really intense emotional things, or you're sharing a lot about your life, it's okay to make people feel uncomfortable. Like, one of the mottos that I'm trying to or that I'm thinking about developing for this podcast is, like, the purpose of it is to light a fire under your ass.
Right.
It's supposed to make you think about things that are uncomfortable to think about. I talk about topics that are just, they're difficult.
Yeah.
And it's
people
okay.
People don't want to acknowledge. People don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, it helps you to grow as a person. Helps you to develop your personality and to be a more well-rounded person. And then the next time that something happens, you're more well-equipped to deal with it and to help other people.
Gracefully.
Yes. Yeah. Round 2 or round 3 or whatever. Like, it's important to not judge yourself and think that, God, I really should have handled that differently.
Yeah.
Like you did with your daughter, or I do with my divorce. Like, sometimes I'll still sometimes think about it and be like, I wonder if there was a way that I could have handled it better. And I didn't. I wasn't that graceful. I was clunky, and that's okay. And there's nothing I can do about that anymore. I can't go back and change it. I don't really want to go back.
Right.
I'm
you
happy
can
with
learn
where I
from
am.
it, and then so next time, or
Just
hopefully
apply
it's
it.
not next time, but
Yeah.
whatever situation that you go into next time, then
Yeah, and
you
just
can
like
handle it better.
when I get into a fight, just like, okay, here's where I didn't do well last time. Here's what I'm going to try and do better this time. And if it takes a long time to learn, and it takes a lot of practice, and it's okay to fail multiple times. Sometimes that's the best way to learn, is through failure.
Yeah.
Making mistakes.
Yep.
So this feels like a self-help podcast.
Right.
Self-help book.
Self-help. All the topics everywhere.
So, tell people where they can find you and where they can buy your book.
So my Instagram handle is Love Miss Wolff with 2 F's, WOLFF.
And not LUV, it's LOVE now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So LOV, and Miss Wolff. And then my website is actually just www.
3?
lovemisswolf.com. So I was trying to keep it,
Yeah.
just for
Make it cohesive, easy to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I post all my, well, not all, but a lot of my poetry and everything on social media. So Instagram's where it's at. And if you want my book, then it's on my website. So
Nice. Yeah, I feel like the reason I was curious about why you posted it online is because it's just has so much potential to be misinterpreted, like especially on Instagram. People don't really, I don't really go to Instagram to, I don't know, it's super rare that I stay on one post. Like if I'm scrolling, I'll just like look at
Attention
it,
span.
tap it, scroll, tap
Yep.
it, or I just go through the stories and then switch over to TikTok and then go to YouTube and then I'm also listening to a podcast and then I'm also like feeding my cats or something. And so to like see something like a written poem or some kind of text as a post and then to sit there and like read it, I don't really do very often.
yeah. Well, the ones that are written posts are actually, most of the time they're shorter. Sometimes I do longer ones, like you swipe or whatever to kind of whatever. But usually my long poems are just in my captions under my photos. So it's like the people who want to read them have the option to.
Gotcha.
And I think that's why I don't get a lot of negative comments either, is because, I mean, some people, now that they've been following me long enough, they expect it. They know that that's how it is. But, you can just look at the pretty photo.
And then read the beautiful caption.
Or you can read more and then see what it
Is most
is.
of your audience female?
No, I have a very male-dominated
Really?
audience.
Even on Instagram?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of how you started with modeling and stuff?
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah. And I tried to switch to, I was trying to gain more of a female audience, right? It hasn't been going so well. And I mean, and I don't post like, I have like some boudoir photos, but really, I mean, I don't post like naked photos or things like that that would attract like a male dominant
right.
audience.
It's not like you're trying to get that or trying to flaunt it, or it's not like your brand.
Right. Yeah. I don't even know what my brand is. Just mental health, right? Like
It's just you
chasing happiness. Like
just you. It's so hard. Like I'm this, when you said you don't like to be put in a box, I'm the same.
Yeah.
Especially with Instagram.
Yeah.
Like when I first started, I was all about landscape photography. That's it. Mm-hmm. So I got all these followers that were just. So when I post something else that's like a portrait or a real estate photo, and I was doing some text for a while, like little inspirational quotes for a minute, it would get way less likes. I'm like, fuck this algorithm. Like, I don't want to be the dude that just takes landscape shots in the shots in the desert.
Yeah.
And so I fight it really hard. But I get it. Like, how are they supposed to know who to share your photo with if your audience is all...
But at the same time, I do think it's cool, even though it's a male-dominant audience, they love my writing. Men like what I write.
That's so cool. It seems like you found a lot of like really emotionally intelligent men.
Well, and I think somehow like it touches on a deeper level. Like they're able to be vulnerable in that like for a moment, you know, like because men, you're not allowed to feel all these feelings. But then all of a sudden when you're reading it and you're in a safe place, you're at home, you're on your phone, you know, you're not, it's not like you're talking about it, but you can acknowledge it, you can read it, right? Mm-hmm. So I do have a lot of men like even reach out to me like, you know, thank you, this is awesome, this has helped me on my journey to healing.
That's cool.
So I do think that's awesome, and women too, but
you'd probably be a good therapist.
Majority of men. I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, you're helping a lot of people.
Yeah.
You have a lot of wisdom. You've been through a lot of stuff.
That's true. I have a lot of life experience in a short amount of time.
Yeah, sometimes I'm always really curious about my therapist. I'm like, what have you been through? Like, what qualifies you besides your degree? Mm-hmm. Just because you know how to talk or you know about, what is it called? Like reflective listening. Mm-hmm. Does that really make you a therapist? Like, I don't know. I like people that have been through a lot of shit, that have a lot of depth and just experience.
Mm-hmm. And then they have the knowledge to try to help you.
Real world knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's nice. Anyway. Well, thanks again. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me on here. This was fun.
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you, Summer.
Yes, thank you, Summer, for the recommendation.
Yes.
I was actually meaning to reach out to you, but then you texted me, you beat me to the punch.
Oh, nice. Well, boom.
Boom. Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Which camera do I look at?
I know which one. Just pick one. I don't know. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.